to build a globally relevant brand and business. We're currently live streaming the first 10 minutes of the introductory part of today's class. Um, for those in our paid membership community, this video is being recorded as well. So that video will be made available for those who missed today's class. But just to give you a background why I put this class together. So for those who know the work that I do, you know, we reach people around the world and we connect with people around the world. But it wasn't always that way, right? So my background was I was in corporate America doing my thing like most people. And then I decided to launch Nazaru and then I left. And basically, when you leave and you're starting a business from the very, very beginning, and what's really happened to me as well is you have to start fresh, right? Because I've spent over a decade in corporate. That's all I've known pretty much my career. So starting a business with an idea of reaching people around the world is really a big deal, right? But nobody knows you, right? Nobody knows what your solutions are. Nobody knows what it is you're trying to accomplish. So you are really like ground zero. And over the last couple of years, I've applied several principles that has allowed this work to reach, countless many around the world, and extremely successful in the way we message to the right people and being able to connect with the right profile of people that we wish to engage with, because at the end of the day you're not going to be able to serve everybody. Like I teach in my business development class, understanding your customer profile and the value proposition that you're presenting to your profile and helping them achieve their goal. That's what business is about. So for us as well, that's something that is clear. But the uniqueness of the work that I do, it's not just reaching people in my local community, it's making my work relevant to people around the world, making the brand stand for something to people around the world, making our services be in demand from people around the world. And even just yesterday, I was talking to one of my clients, and she told me some of the things she was doing. I said, "Wow, what you're doing!" I remember the very stage of what I was doing. What you're doing is a known industry, right? So it's a known industry, even though it's challenging to build in that space. And I gave an example of the work that I do. It feels and it is actually building a new industry that has never existed before. So not only did I establish a business. We're building multiple platforms, multiple engagement, but also creating a whole new conversation around a region that wasn't seen through that lens. So when I look at my community, the community we've now built around the world, as I've engaged more with their work, I've realized that a lot of them also want to reach new clients and new businesses around the world, but the way they were going about it, um they could improve their approach. Right? So this class is around um considering the approach that you're taking in building your brand, and understanding that if you're building a brand just for your local market, you're working with people that already know you, that culturally you already understand them. um, so it's easier to do business within the community we live in. But when we now want to reach people across the border, like cross-border transactions, there are nuances in terms of how we position ourselves and our brand. Okay. So today's work, for those who also attend some of my classes, I always begin with the big picture. Okay, this is maybe I'll come back to this afterward. Well, this is for the community that I serve. It's a trade and investment network. This is our calendar of events. So this January, today we're covering how to build a globally relevant brand. Next month we'll be covering business development. You need to take the business development e-course on the community first, and then we'll be talking about the agricultural value chain in February. So let me get into today's class. The approach I'm going to take is I'll present the content of the material without interruption, and then At the very end, I'll open it up for question and answer and a deeper dive. So one of the things I always like to do is big picture. Okay. A lot of times when we want to build a business, we may not understand the different moving pieces. We're working on one thing at a time and we're not paying attention to other things. So the way I created the slide is just to get people to see the big picture, to understand that when you're building a business, you need to consider who you are. And when I say you, it could also be your team, you and your team, right? So if you're a solopreneur, you need to assess what you're bringing to the table, right? Because when people engage with you in doing business, they are engaging with you, right? They're engaging with an individual. When they search for your business, they're looking at, okay, who is the person behind this business? What's their profile? What's their experience? What are their values? What's their reach? Can this person deliver on their promise to me, right? So even if you're working in your local market, oftentimes, one of the things I like to say is we do business with people we know and we trust. So there's opportunity in your local market for people to make introductions for you, for people to open doors for you, for people to be able to quickly trust you by saying, oh, yes, I've heard about your business. Oh, yes, I've heard about you. Wow, yes, I feel comfortable doing business with you. But once you go into cross-border business, international business, you have to actually work extra hard to build meaningful relationships that can translate to business opportunity. So let me say that again. In international business, you need to work extra hard to build meaningful relationships that eventually can translate to business opportunities. Many people want results without investing time in making sure people feel comfortable with them, that people understand them as well. So this is what we're going to cover in details in the next couple of slides. And for those, live streaming, we're going to stop the live stream now, and we're going to invite you that if this is something of interest to you, you should have a link in the subject line of the live stream. Feel free to register through that link and join us on the Trade Network. And within the network, you go into events. We have a bunch of events lined up already, but look for the one that says how to build a globally relevant brand, and click on the Zoom link to join this conversation. Okay, so we're going to go deep now for the next hour, and I'm going to open it as well for interaction. So let's get to the deep dive. Okay.